My name is Robert Thomson. I'm the co-lead for the photonics team within SUPA. The other lead is Jennifer Hasty at Strathclyde. So photonics is really the area of science concerned with the generation, manipulation, and detection of light. So it's an incredibly broad area of science, going all the way from kind of classical optics, lens design, optical system design, and so on, all the way through to condensed matter physics, developing detectors for detecting single photons, for example. And so there are really photonics activities in all SUPA institutes. So this includes activities such as thin films, fabrication at the University of West of Scotland, or nano-optics at St Andrews, laser source development at Strathclyde. So there's really an incredible range of photonic activities across the SUPA institutes, and globally leading photonics activities as well. As with all SUPA students, my understanding is that they are required to take a total of 40 hours of specialist courses and 20 hours of professional development courses in the first 2 years of your studies. And so on the professional development side, we're really looking at courses that include programming in C++, for example, or data analysis, and then even sort of softer skills like writing and commercialization. So these are really courses that can take you outside of perhaps the immediate remit of your PhD or your NhD, but allow you to upskill and develop additional skills that you might find useful both within your NhD or your PhD, but also in terms of your destination that you're considering after your doctoral degree. In terms of the specialist courses in photonics, as I said, you have to complete 40 hours of these within your first 2 years of your studies. And this includes courses such as quantum technologies, quantum theory, nanophotonics, and these are all offered in either a distance learning or video conference manner. SUPA Photonics is absolutely world leading, and we're making key contributions to many of the most important and kind of hottest areas in photonics globally. So I think the first area to highlight is the efforts within SUPA in the areas of quantum optics and quantum photonics. This includes using single photon detectors for applications such as laser imaging, quantum communications, quantum metrology, and there's really been significant involvement from SUPA institutes such as Heriot-Watt, Glasgow, and Strathclyde in all of the EPSRC quantum hubs, which have received literally hundreds of millions of funding from the UK government over the past decade. I think another area of strength in SUPA Photonics is in nano-optics, and there are significant efforts in developing devices called metasurfaces at St Andrews and Glasgow, and these metasurfaces are kind of nanostructured surfaces that really allow us to shape at the nanoscale the wave, the amplitude and phase profile of an optical beam in a manner that really has simply not been possible previously. And then the third area I would highlight is the incredible strength of SUPA institutes in developing advanced laser sources. And there's a huge areas of activity in SUPA institutes such as Strathclyde, Dundee, and Heriot-Watt in laser source development for applications such as quantum photonics, but also, for example, at Heriot-Watt in the development of laser sources called laser frequency combs, which are now being used in astronomy for calibrating astronomical spectrographs with unprecedented precision. Many doctoral students will go on to perhaps do a postdoc in a university research lab, and some fraction of them will go on to secure fellowships, and some fraction of them will go on to become academics, and so on and so forth. And that's a traditional path. But the reality is that the percentage of doctoral students who make it into permanent academic careers is small. And so, fortunately, those that choose not to take that path have extremely bright futures, and that future may lie in industry and in Scottish photonics. We have an extremely vibrant photonics industry, and this includes global companies such as Leonardo, or Coherent, or Thales, or M Squared. These are all companies that either are photonics at their core or use photonics as an enabling technology in their core business. And all those skills that you develop as a doctoral physics student are in demand outside of those traditional photonics industry jobs as well. So you can go on to find opportunities in areas such as financial sector or data analytics. So I think that is the big benefit of doing a doctoral degree in physics. The opportunities are just vast, and really, once you've done your doctorate, I would say the world is your oyster. Your doctorate is going to go quickly. Okay, so you feel right now at the start that you've got this expanse of time in front of you, and you do to a degree, but it will go quickly, and so you should make the most of it to really grow your network and develop the skills that you feel are going to take you in the direction you most want to go after your PhD. And I think that goal of where you want to go will almost certainly change as you move through your doctorate. But you should really try to reflect on the progress, this as you progress, so that you can make decisions that will most benefit you. So this could include, for example, the choices you make about professional development courses that are available through SUPA, or it might actually inform your choice of conferences that will allow you to grow the right network. So if I can be so cheeky, I'm gonna pick two things that I would say, and the second thing I would say is that PhDs, NHDs, they can be stressful, right? And sometimes they can be very stressful, and actually it's very natural to be unhappy at points. But there's a big difference between that kind of temporary stress-induced unhappiness and chronic unhappiness with the way things are going in your doctorate. And so really, if you're experiencing the latter, I would urge you to speak to your supervisors. And they are there to help. And I certainly know from my perspective and those of my colleagues at Heriot-Watt, they will do their best to help you to resolve any unhappiness that you're experiencing. And really, they're kind of your biggest ally during your PhD. They're there to make things go smoothly. They're there to make things work for you. So really communicating with your supervisors about things that you're finding challenging, I think is really essential to make your doctorate go as smoothly as possible.